carbohydrates and sugar aren't necessarily the enemy when it comes to diabetes. Glucose is what the body uses to make energy. So consider glucose as the fuel and ATP as the energy. So ATP is the primary energy molecule in our body that's used to drive pretty much all metabolic processes. From thinking to muscle movement to heart beating, pretty much all metabolic processes, regeneration, are driven by the molecule ATP, which is made from glucose. So if you have high glucose levels, high blood glucose levels, it's possible that you are not getting enough of the vitamins and minerals that you need to turn glucose into ATP. Now this process is called cellular respiration. It happens primarily in the mitochondria, and I posted a video called Mitochondria Part 1 where I go into where these vitamins and minerals are used in the process. So here I'm just going to list them, and I'm also going to go through a lot of supplements and vitamins that you can take to kind of get all these vitamins and minerals in your diet if you aren't getting them from food right now. So check out the description box below if you don't want to stay for the whole video, just so you can see all the vitamins and minerals that you need to turn glucose into ATP. Alright, so let's just go through these. And again, these are primarily found in the mitochondria. You're going to need niacin, thiamine, pantothenic acid, riboflavin, and you're going to need a lot of protein because protein is the driving force for turning glucose into ATP. I mean, it's the enzymes that really do all the work. They're kind of like the hands that kind of do all the work in the process. So you're going to need a lot of protein. I would suggest you try to get protein at every meal. You're going to need water because it's water that breaks the carbohydrates down into glucose. It's a so you need water for the process, and it also has to be in an oxygenated environment. This is an anaerobic process. An aerobic process. So you need oxygen. You're going to need 33. I counted 33 atoms of sulfur and 27 atoms of iron. Now, I feel that sulfur is one of the most under-recognized deficiencies in our country, and it was the Fountain of Youth, which is found in Florida, sulfonated water. So you really got to be getting a lot of sulfur in your diet, and I think that it's one of the most deficient minerals that we are dealing with today. And again, you need 27 atoms of iron. First of all, these are all the vitamins and minerals that I had found. I'm not saying that it's an exhaustive list. There could be other vitamins and minerals involved in the process as well. You need copper, phosphorus. This is phosphate, so this is a phosphorus atom. Biotin, which is kind of another B vitamin, and CoQ10, which is another antioxidant that I feel that we're pretty deficient in, as well as iodine, which is also likely a high that we're probably pretty deficient in as well. Okay, so again, these are the vitamins and minerals that I had found, including oxygen, water, and protein, that we need to turn glucose into energy, or ATP. Okay, so let me just go through some supplements that are going to help to kind of cover all these requirements our body has. So we're going to start with Brewers Yeast. Now this is, I would consider, a supplement, and you can take this pretty much on a regular basis. This has got a lot of minerals and vitamins in it, and 2 tablespoons really covers a lot of ground in regards to getting enough vitamins and minerals in your body. So I would try to find a way to get Brewers Yeast in your diet. I just make a shake in the morning, and by shake I mean water, olive oil, lecithin, ice, Brewers Yeast, and maybe a little apple cider vinegar, because some of them, I like olive oil because it helps mix it into solution better. So anyways, try to get your Brewers Yeast. You can take this regularly. And wheat germ. This is something great you can add to your grains or salads. It has a lot of the B vitamins. It is also high in vitamin E, which I feel is pretty hard to find in the diet as well. And it also has phosphorus in it. So try to get, if you can, try to get some wheat germ. Wheat germ is an easy way to get some vitamins and minerals. In Blackstrap Molasses, and I know it has sugar in it, but it has 20% of the daily RDA for iron, and it also has a lot of potassium, which is also really kind of, it's hard to get the right balance between sodium and potassium in your diet. So I would, if you feel like you're deficient in iron, I would just add a little Blackstrap Molasses, and make sure it's Blackstrap. The other types of molasses barely have any iron or any other minerals in them. So look on the label on the back just to make sure you're getting the right molasses if you do decide to use molasses as an iron supplement. And sulfur, like I said, you get most of your sulfur through protein, and you can also get it through garlic and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. But I actually take a sulfur supplement. This is MSMPure, and these are the coarse flakes. There's no additives with the coarse flakes. I'll leave this in the description box below. Now I take a very small amount. I usually take it in the morning with club soda and maybe a little apple cider vinegar or apple juice or something. The taste is pretty tough, but I really feel a noticeable difference when I do take this. So consider looking into this sulfur. It's really cheap for what you get. It's like $10, and this will last a very long time, so it's very affordable. And then CoQ10 is also relatively hard to get. You find it in, like I said, mussels. In the heart, if you want to eat some beef heart, that's probably a good place for it as well. But as a supplement, I like Jarrow. I take about 100 milligrams pretty regularly. This is, I believe, a supplement you can kind of just, in my opinion, take on a daily basis, about 100 milligrams, and maybe stop, every couple of days to let your levels kind of balance out. And then we have a BComplex here. Now, this is a great BComplex. It's by Douglas Labs. They do a lot of research. They just make, in my opinion, a really good supplement. It's a capsule. So if you get a BComplex, try to get a capsule, not a tablet, because the capsule will dissolve faster and more completely. So B-complexes, I think, are great to kind of get you off to a fast start to getting your vitamin levels up, but I would not recommend just staying on a B-complex indefinitely over long periods of time. You kind of want to cycle these B vitamins and all your vitamins. So you go on them for a little while and then you go off them for a little while, because you don't want the levels to get too high. Because if you're too high in certain vitamins and minerals, you may cause an imbalance in other ones. So B-complex is a great way to start and to really just cover a lot of ground again quickly. But if you do consider taking a B-complex, I would after a while start cycling it and kind of pulsing it. And then we have, for iodine, I have J. Crow's Lugols solutions, 5%. This is very strong. I would really hesitate taking a drop in water and drinking it for the first time. What I would do is I would take a drop and put it on your palm and rub it in, and just do that for maybe a day or so and just see how you feel. Iodine is extremely strong, so you really want to taper your levels up slowly, because it can cause a detox. A whole list of detox symptoms can come if you take iodine too fast. So Lugols is probably my preferred choice for an iodine supplement. You can also get iodine from strawberries and dairy. Those are two sources that I know off the top of my head. And one more, I just sometimes take trace minerals just to get a lot of the copper and some other minerals. I would also consider taking Himalayan pink salt to get a lot of the minerals, and Himalayan pink salt also has iron in it, but you will probably notice a benefit if you really have kind of a poor diet. So trace minerals is an option, and again, if you do decide to take trace minerals, I would work your levels up very slowly and then possibly taper off and transfer over to Himalayan pink salt. So I think I covered all the supplements I have on the table here. So again, if you are diabetic and you have no energy, you're probably missing some of these vitamins and minerals. You have to get enough oxygen and you need, which will happen if you have enough iron. The iron will help carry the oxygen as well as the iodine. So all these work together, you know, and you're going to have to get enough water in your diet to break down the carbohydrates into the simple sugars, and it's the proteins that drive all these processes as well. And in closing, I just wanted to introduce 3 areas of the body that are almost exclusively dependent, and I say almost exclusively dependent on glucose for energy, which is the brain. The brain uses 20% of the oxygen you bring in. The brain uses 20% of it. It's like 3 to 5 pounds, and it's using 20% of your oxygen, which goes back to the fact that it's an aerobic environment that we use glucose. And again, the skeletal muscle is really dependent for glucose for energy, and it uses 30% of the oxygen that we bring in while the skeletal muscle is at rest. And in closing, red blood cells. Red blood cells use glucose exclusively. That's what my biochemistry book says. It exclusively uses glucose for energy. So you've got to make sure that you have enough red blood cells, I guess. So I don't know if you can check that in the lab or something when you get your blood sugars checked, to see if you can have the doctor run a screen to see if you have enough red blood cells in your body. Alright, so if you want to learn any more about this, these vitamins and minerals in glucose to energy, check out my Mitochondria Part 1 video. And again, check out the description box below. I'm going to leave all this information down there. And best of luck!